All right, it's just Blane and Courtney Pearl, Parallel Frequencies. People actually watch this, Courtney. You believe that?
I do believe it. You know why? Because I'm really charming and very likable. So
That's true, and I'm like the opposite. So that's what, maybe it's the yin yang thing. People like watching it. I don't know. But you know what? One of our most watched, most searched things is?
what?
It's about The Exorcist 2. Remember we watched that movie?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We almost got to Linda Hamilton. We almost got to talk to her.
Oh, yeah. You did talk to her. We just didn't get it on camera. We just had a little Linda Blair.
Linda Blair. I'm sorry. Linda Hamilton is on my mind too. But Linda Blair, we almost got it. Yeah, we did. She wasn't feeling well. And she really wasn't going to be feeling well when I started talking about The Exorcist 2 with her. Because that's what
I didn't want to do that to her. I'm like, you deserve to have a day you don't feel good.
Yeah.
Give her that. Just leave her alone. Leave the poor woman alone. She has dealt with demons.
She dealt with a demon.
Exorcist 2 is one of them.
No, hey, me and you have differing opinions on The Exorcist 2. I think it's a masterpiece. I still do. And that's what the people think. Well, I don't know if they actually think that. That's the one clip they go watch. So maybe it's just so divisive that's why people watch it. I don't know.
Yeah, and that's okay.
Speaking of The Exorcist, you seen this? The Exorcist Mike Flanagan remake, reboot, starring Scarlett Johansson. What do you think about that?
Listen, I like everything Mike Flanagan does. Everything. I mean, I am a huge fan. I think I've seen everything. So this is not like The Exorcist 2 for me. This is very exciting. But I'm also, it's entertainment one way or the other, right? Like, if you hate it, then you get to enjoy hating it and making fun of it and that kind of thing, like I did with The Exorcist 2. So I'm good either way.
I'm excited too. What's your favorite Mike Flanagan series or what? What you got? What do you like?
All the series. Oh, that is hard. That's hard. Because I think, what is it? Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, man, that's probably mine.
I saw that one first. So that one kind of holds a special place because I was like, what is this? Who made this? This was my first exposure, right? But The Fall of the House of Usher and all of the ties to Edgar Allan Poe. How can you not love that? Ooh, that tickled me in a literary sense,
I didn't know where you were going with that. I was going to say this is maybe a family program. I don't know.
Is it though? Is it a family program? I don't know. But
it could be, because the next thing I want to talk about is either very family oriented or it's one of the most terrifying shows there ever was. And I'm talking about Rudolph, the original. 61 years old. Birthday.
Holy.
Just this week. Can you believe? I thought that show was at least 200-300 years old. Like, seriously, like it feels that old, right?
Yeah, we're going to have to maybe do a whole episode on that because those are like childhood memories for everybody who's living right now. I mean, think about it. Everybody that saw it when it first came out, they're of an older generation. And then we all watched it growing up. And my kids just watched it last weekend too. So
I got to watch that again. Yeah, you know what? We should break that bad boy down because I've got some strong feelings on the Rudolph movie. I do. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, I mean, I talked about this like 2 years ago on one of the first shows I did. But the real hero of that movie, it's not Rudolph. It's this guy right here.
Everybody loves you,
Cornelius. Am I right, though? He's the real hero.
You're so right.
I understand that he might have had a sketchy past, and I'll get into that when we break this one down. But he's the real hero. He's the absolute hero.
Who doesn't love him? And when he picks up his little pickaxe and on the I still love it.
If I get started right now, I'll talk 30 minutes about Yukon Cornelius and all the facts and stuff. And there's some communism symbolism in that show too. I'll get into. This is the show. If we can get canceled, this will be the one when we break down Rudolph.
Okay.
What other Christmas movies What have you watched lately? You watched any Christmas movies
We
lately?
just watched the Christmas Vacation. We talked about that in another episode. We were teasing it because that's going to be one of ours that we'll review, and just went through it with the kids yesterday. I don't know if that one's a family movie or not, but it definitely is like a staple in our house. We watch it whether it's a family movie or not. My kids get to watch it.
I was going to ask, what do they think about it? Do they think are they at the age like that movie's boring, or is it starting to get funny? Like, is it?
Oh, I think they're getting the humor, definitely. I don't know if they totally understand the part where the daydreaming of the pool and the woman is taking her swimsuit off. My boys are a little young for that, but I noticed my oldest was staring pretty hard with his jaw on the floor during that part. So I got to tease him a little bit.
I mean, I still stare at that part. You know what? You know what?
I'm like, what's so interesting there, huh? Huh? What you looking at?
The bathing suit flips off onto the window, off her toes. Oh my God. I think, here's a tease for us. Let's do this tomorrow. Let's make our whole show tomorrow a deep dive into Christmas Vacation. I'd love to talk about Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo and Randy Quaid. Oh my God, Cousin Eddie. We all got a Cousin Eddie in our family, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And if you don't have one in your family,
you're him.
You might be him. That's what I'm saying. I'm like,
tomorrow, right here on Parallel Frequencies, Christmas Vacation. It's 38 years old as of like last week, I think. Me, Just Blane, and Courtney Pearl will break it down. I don't know what all we could talk about. I do. I think this could be a 6-hour show, honestly.
yeah, that's our problem. We gotta figure out a way to wrap it up, bundle it.
Like a
but
Christmas
that's
gift.
a lot to say about that.
Like a Christmas gift, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I got another thing that I got to talk about before we get to the main topic, because I think this leads in perfectly to the main topic. Let me just say this, though. Last night, I watched a TV show, and I was on the edge of my seat. I don't do that very often. I like to kick back. I like to be relaxed, you know? But this one had me locked in. And I'm talking about Welcome to Derry. Season 1, episode 7. Bill Skarsgård has become Pennywise. This is him right here. I'm talking about the performance he puts on is at the tip-top echelons of horror. He's up there with the Robert Englunds of Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. Name them all off.
Okay.
This episode put him up there.
Though.
I'm talking about Courtney. We're going to go in. We're going to do a deep dive into Welcome to Derry.
Yes.
Next week.
And I will. I'll get to that one. I promise. I'm a little skeptical that we can do better than Tim Curry as Pennywise.
Oh my God.
But Tim Curry is a little bit of my favorite. But I believe you. I'm gonna get right on that. It's my next assignment.
I can't stop thinking about it. I really can't. And it was like, boom. Here's our big bad. Here's Pennywise. And you know what? Today's topic, Stranger Things Season 4, the big bad finally shows up, Vecna. Do you remember back last week, I said, you know what? I made a crazy theory out of the top of my head. I said, I think Vecna is Pennywise.
Yeah.
He's feeding off the fear. Well, I'll be damned if over the weekend Netflix didn't buy Warner Brothers, which is HBO, which means at some point we could see that crazy crossover that I theorized right here.
That would be incredible. I would watch that.
Vecna Pennywise crossover. Oh my gosh. I think it could happen.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. In the storyline, in the original storyline, it's targeting a group of kids, right? I mean, where is there the aspect of kids being vulnerable to this particular creature, monster, and the association of it showing up throughout history? That it shows up and then it shows up again and then it shows up again, and there's time between each one. So you just have a Pennywise, Hawkins, Indiana, 1980s. I could see it, right?
I think it's going to be I think we're going to find out at some point. I mean, it may not be soon because season 5 of Stranger Things is supposed to be the end. But when you can still make a buck out there, and when you spent $72.5 billion on getting some other franchises, you might start thinking, hey, maybe we could revive this Stranger Things. Maybe my and your idea of the Stranger Things reboot in about 2050 with kids from 2020 and Pennywise, if it's in that 27-year cycle, man.
Yeah.
I see.
See?
We just gave somebody an idea.
Yeah. I could kind of see it too in the 1990 I don't know if it was like a made for TV or 2-part movie thing that Tim Curry did, Pennywise, the one I'm referring to. Do you remember that when they show like the creature and the kids, and it's very Mind Flayer, Vecna, it all kind of, it seems similar, right? It's a similar shape, it's a similar way it behaves.
I mean,
I'm seeing more and more evidence to support your theory here.
And I mean, the Duffer Brothers, they don't shy away from the fact that they say, hey, we took references from Stephen King.
Yeah.
Who wrote it.
Right.
So it's not too far-fetched. It was at one point maybe, but, you know, once billions of dollars start getting thrown around, you could pretty much see anything as long as they can see dollar signs from it. So they're going to be trying to recover some of that money. That's my theory, and I think that's how you do it. Hire us. We'll come on board and help them write that.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I would love that. I've always wanted to do that. Let's talk about Vecna. Yeah. I want to know some of your thoughts on Vecna, because I've kind of brought this up before in that my question about Vecna is, you know, is he creating the Upside Down? Is he just thrown into it? What is his relationship here? Because there's some theories that maybe he is a victim of the Mind Flayer, or did he create it? Because you get this whole throwback in season 4. You finally kind of get the reveal of what is potentially the start of all of this. We thought the Demogorgon was like the evil creature that we were fighting in season 1. Come to find out, there's this whole other thing to worry about. Season 2, season 3. Then in season 4, you're like, wait. It didn't even start with all that. There's this whole other subplot going on in the past, in the 1950s, and Henry Creel and his father, and they thought he did it, and all this stuff going on, and find out that, you know, through Eleven's repressed memories, that she defeated him, or like opened up a portal to send him into the Upside Down. So, what are your thoughts on Vecna?
Vecna, for me, first off, and biggest of all, is completely terrifying, and probably the most terrifying thing we've seen in Stranger Things up until now, because he's not just a monster, it's the psychological part of it, and it's finally playing in to, you know, feeding on the trauma. And if Hawkins, Indiana is not the center of trauma for all trauma, I don't know what is. So he's in the right place for what he needs, and that makes it even scarier, because it's like, this guy can't be beat. That's my thoughts on Vecna overall.
Gives you this feeling of inescapability. Like, it doesn't matter where you are or who you are. There's no rhyme or reason to it, really, other than the warning, kind of like in The Ring, when we talk about being cursed 7 days. It kind of has that feeling of it, because it's like Max is kind of putting together what Chrissy experienced, and she's like, well, she started with headaches, and then she started seeing things and started hearing a clock, and I've started seeing and hearing those things too. So there's this doomsday preemptive clues that you are cursed, but otherwise it feels like it could get you anytime. It's just that feeling of uncertainty.
I like
psychological.
I like what you just brought up there about time. What is it about time that makes it so scary? What is it about getting that 7 day? Is it, I mean, honestly, if it's death that you're afraid of, then we should all feel that way at all times, even though you don't know the exact, right? But is it that definitive, okay, you got 7 days, or okay, you're in Vecna's world, you know it's going to happen. Like, what is the ticking of the clock? I have a nice surround sound system in my house, and It is the most haunting sound ever in
Yeah.
Stranger Things season 4. When you hear Vecna's clock tick, it's like, oh my gosh, like it takes you out of your own element. What is it about that? Like, I don't think you can hear a ticking clock and think, oh, happy thoughts. I don't think it's ever a possibility.
Yeah, so many things that you just mentioned that I have to hit on. First, a grandfather clock. I love grandfather clocks. They're so beautiful. And we had one that was passed down. I think my grandmother bought it, and it was in our old house. We lived in my dad's old house that was his grandfather's house that he grew up in. So I was in a 100-year-old house growing up, and that grandfather clock was still there. And you had to, pull the little things and wind it up. I mean, it required maintenance. It was not a maintenance-free type of decor item in our home. But I think my parents just eventually stopped winding it up, stopped doing that, because it did gong like that, just like in the show. At midnight, in the middle of the night, you're sleeping in the dark in this 100-year-old house, and you hear that gong, or the little tune that it plays, or so it's a very haunting, old world feeling that I think it just like connects us back to that feeling of like time is coming for you. Your time is running out. All that symbolism around time and clocks definitely comes to play. But I love that you mentioned, like, how does that feel to know you have 7 days versus, and maybe that's why Max feels to me when she discovers that her time is running out. She's got a clock set for herself. She seems a lot more calm than I would anticipate somebody to be. I mean, you would think if you were told or given these clues that your time is running out, you're toast, you're dead meat by a couple days left, you would be freaking out. You would be like, what can I do? You'd be doing, and she's calm as can be. Maybe because she knows that whether she can stop it or not, there's really not a whole lot she can do about it. There's a certain sort of certainty of something coming for you. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think if you did know for certain, I do think it would make you act differently. If someone gave you a set time and said, I mean, it's just like it doesn't have to be death. Think about if you get an appointment, you're going to try to make that appointment, and time's ticking down to it. So there's another TV show that did this really well, and it was Westworld. And I don't know if you ever watched that one all the way through. It's a great, incredible watch as well, but they do get into that, and that's not me. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but let's just say that once everybody kind of figures out the future and is told for certain, everything goes to chaos. And I think that's how it would happen. I think that's what would happen.
Well, I remember learning from a Buddhist teacher who was talking about getting comfortable with uncertainty. They were talking about death, and they were saying that a friend of theirs had been diagnosed with a terminal illness. And so they were sitting down with them and saying, what is it like to know you're going to die? What is that like? And the friend said, well, I could ask you the same thing. Just because I have a diagnosis of cancer and given 4 months to live doesn't mean that you couldn't be hit by a bus tomorrow and die before me. So like getting more comfortable with the uncertainty. And I've done a lot of work around this personally into the place of not really being scared of death. I remember going on a trip a few years ago, and I thought to myself, this is a little scary because I'm going on this really long airline flight. I don't know what's going to happen. I could die. I mean, the plane could crash. I don't know. Or I could die on my vacation away from my family. I'm going by myself. And I remember I just sat down and wrote a letter like Max does. And she's writing letters to people because she's like, if something happens to me, then this is what I would have wanted to say, which Lucas kind of calls her on it because he's like, why would you write me a letter when you could tell me right now? We're face to face right now. It's like, tell the people you love them. Tell the people what you want to say. Don't wait for death to be the reason. But I sat down and wrote a letter, and I just said, if something happens to me, I want you to know that I don't regret a thing. Good. That I'm okay with whatever happens. If I die on this trip, so be it. Don't be sad for me. I wanted to go on this trip, and the trip meant something to me, and getting to do and what I want and live my life is worth it. So I just wanted to make sure that that was said, so that if anything happened, they found that letter, they'd be like, oh, she was okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This season, I think, treated death as almost like an evil thing now.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
The fear of it.
Yeah, it was almost, I'll say for certain this whole season, it played into the satanic panic of the 80s, like some of the cultural stuff going on, and it showed in this. Like, they really made a great crossover to real time, if that makes sense. Like, it related, and you see it, but they really do treat all of this as pure evil, and it is a satanic. Vecna might as well be the devil. I mean, that's kind of what we could, if you want to have a relative something to say. Yeah. But
I can't not talk about the parallels of that whole devil, the community coming together and blaming the D&D team for it.
Yes.
They believe that their Hawkins is cursed, right? They're like, obviously a lot of awful things have been happening to our town over the last few years. And, they bring the word curse out quite a bit. And we talked about the crops failing a couple seasons back, but then they kind of have to point the blame somewhere. How can you not think about the witch trials, right?
Yeah.
If you listen to Practically Magic, those of you who have listened to my podcast on Practically Magic about the witch trials, about blaming, who are we blaming? Are we blaming the witches, or are we blaming maybe the actual culprits, which could be otherworldly figures? Vecna has a lot of cultural tie-ins or similarities to the puka or the changelings of Celtic folklore, the ones that can change their shape to look or seem like something else. He's very tricky like that. Might actually be harming people. That's kind of what the Fae folk were like for people of that time period and that culture. So I can't help but think of the similarities there. And then who gets blamed? Poor Eddie.
Eddie Munson. Who better to blame it on than the town outcast, basically? There's one of these in every school. This was the lunch table I sat at. And I can remember our Eddie Munson, old Toddy Locks, he's out there, he's probably watching right now. But old Toddy Locks probably would have been Eddie Munson.
Yeah.
I still talk to old Toddy Locks today. He's one of the best human beings I know. But you would be shocked at all the looks and things that he probably got accused of, and us as a group. We were never really up to no good. We might have been doing some backyard wrestling and beating the hell out of each other. But other than that, we weren't up to no crime. I don't think none of us went to jail, I felt the same way about Eddie Munson. But it was easy for them to point their fingers at the kid that didn't look like the rest of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
I'm fired up about Eddie.
I think everybody was. When it came down to it, you were like, they were just playing D&D. They just love D&D. What were they hurting? How did he hurt anybody? And the fact that, maybe growing up in the trailer park and the, classism, and you could bring a lot of that into play there too, how someone is othered or made to feel like they're not good enough. And, you have these, the jocks, the popular kids in school, again, against the kids that were maybe a little bit of an outcast, but had somehow found a group that accepted them. They were all kind of like, we're the weirdos and we're okay with it. That was me and my drama peeps. We probably weren't even as cool as this D&D team, this Hellfire Club. We were more like, we were over there having feelings and massaging each other in a circle.
Now, see, we didn't have the name, the Hellfire Club, but we did have a name, and it was RAW. And the A was an anarchy symbol, but it was Reckless Attitude Wrestling. And that was us. And we had the patches and everything. Yeah, we were out there rocking it. All the Toddy Locks. Look him up.
Cool. You guys were much more cool, even if you were othered. It was much more cool than the drama geeks that I was hanging out with.
Yeah. But Joseph Quinn as Eddie Munson, instant fan favorite. That Master of Puppets scene, man, they knew what they were doing. Music has always been a huge part of Stranger Things, and this season for sure. let's be real. But that Master of Puppets, the guitar, oh my gosh. I just watched that back not long ago and still gave me chills. I love that part. I think it was another iconic moment. I know that's a cliche word here we throw out with Stranger Things, but it really was.
Yeah, it reminded me of like the backdrop of the upside down thunder and lightning, the red, the on top of the trailer like a stage, the whole setup. It kind of reminded me of well, I play Guitar Hero, and there's like Warriors of Rock where they become like demons and things like that. That's kind of what it reminded me of. Makes you feel powerful.
Let's talk about the other song, The One, from this season, Kate Bush.
Yep. Bringing Max back from the clutches of Vecna. Music. It has to be music.
Running up that hill became a hit for a number second, third, fourth time. I don't know how many, but it did. From this show, I gotta throw myself into that for a moment. Because I had a little hand, I talk about little hand in this pop culture phenomenon popping off about Kate Bush's running up that hill. I watched it this season. I watched it that weekend straight through, and I knew this song. I was like, we got to get to playing this. Well, I happened to be producing Strombo's show at Apple Music at the time, and I'm texting them on the weekend saying, hey, we got to get a segment in about Stranger Things using this Kate Bush song. We did. We put it out there. We were the first ones on Apple Music to do it. And I'm not saying that I was the only reason that song shot up the charts, but we were at least at the forefront of knowing that this was about to be a big pop culture thing. And I know that that song shot up from people hearing about it. Like, we were talking about it literally the next day. So there's my tiny, believe me, I'm keeping my ego in check. There's my tiny contribution to that moment. So
it lit the spark that lit the fire that started the flame. There it was. Yeah, you heard it everywhere too after this. So I understand that.
I mean, I'm glad they picked a good song.
Good moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, a good moment of her triumphing over this seemingly absolute massive battle between Vecna and them. Like, it just felt the entire season like hopeless. It felt hopeless. It was like, there's no way to combat him. He's too powerful. He's too much. And then this moment where she's like, hell no, I'm getting out of here. I am going back. And the running and epic. Just, I love that.
You know
Take
what?
Your power back.
You know what else I think led to the misery that you kind of feel with this season? Because I do feel like this is the deepest, darkest season. Mm-hmm. It was during COVID. When they filmed this. This was COVID protocols. They were all wearing the mask and doing the 6 feet distance. All that stuff was going on because it was probably peak COVID time, especially where they were filming it. Like, they were in California, they were in Georgia, they were in Russia, Lithuania, I guess. They were doing some moving around, so they were in that protocol the entire time. I think that had a mental effect on the actors themselves, probably, and it probably comes across in this season.
For sure, and that's something I was going to point out too, is that this season, more so than any other season, was just full of subplots. It wasn't like, okay, here's the main plot. It was like everybody had a completely other experience. So you've got characters totally disconnected from each other. They're all kind of grouped off, which we've seen before, but they have come together more in the past. And this time it felt like, you know, they're clear on the other side of the country, which I want to point out, since we're talking about that, when the season starts out, the experience that 11 is going through, she's lost her powers. So that's already, can you imagine what that feels like for her? She's always had these powers to be able to even just move objects when she wants to. And that's gone. I think that would be like chopping off a limb or something for her. But then she's moved with Will and their family to California and has to go through the experience of being a middle school transplant. I've
Yep.
told you before in this, as we talk about Stranger Things, I know what that feels like. That is the worst. To be placed in middle school in a new school to make friends, and the feeling when she gets bullied and she's trying so hard to prove to Mike that she's well adjusted and that she's doing okay and she's got friends, and it all comes crashing down on her. That is so relatable. And I'm just, painful. It's so painful to watch.
Had to feel bad for her right there. And then she gets the powers back, and that's incredible. And she got the head shaved again. Except Millie Bonbon. Millie Bonbon did not shave her head this time. It was a tight wig wrapped up.
Somebody deserves an award for the makeup for that, because it looked incredible. It looked exactly the same.
You know who did shave their head for this one, though? And that's David Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as you said, I didn't even think about it until you said it, but that whole arc in Russia with Murray and Joyce, that could be a whole standalone season. Like, they could have put that
I
all
know.
Yeah, that's wild.
They're going through, and they're fighting a Demogorgon over there in Russia. The whole thing.
There's the thing for you, too. There's a point, and it's when there's other shows out there that when they've got a lot of story arcs and stuff going on, you really want to see the one. And when they cut to the other one, Lost might have been an example of this. You might have been really high on this storyline, but maybe the others you didn't care about so much. So when they went to the others, you were wanting to see the other side. You were like, no, go back over there. You don't really feel like that during Stranger Things. It could be a 20-minute piece in Russia, and you're good with it. Even though you just left a battle maybe in the middle of it, you're good with it. You don't feel irritated. You're just like, all right, I know they're going to get back to it, but this is my focus right now, So really good job. Really good job by the Duffer
Making
brothers.
sure that everybody had their own meaty, juicy story that everybody really wanted to see and be a part of. And I mean, even when 11 gets taken and you're there seeing how Jonathan and Argyle and Will and Mike are going to end up, where are they going to go? What are they going to do next? Then you've got this whole dynamic of Will having feelings. Will's caught feelings. He's caught feelings probably for Mike. And that was interesting because I don't remember anybody talking about that really till this season came out. And then people were like, oh my gosh, Will is gay. He's got feelings for Mike. Like it's coming out, right? We're starting to understand this. But there are clues all along. And now that we've done this whole rewatch, you go back to season 1 when he goes missing and Joyce is talking to Hopper and saying, well, his dad always said he was a bit queer.
Mm-hmm.
Would call him names and things like that. There's this whole conversation that happens and you go, they saw him. I think Jonathan and Joyce, I think they knew and saw him for who he was. And I think that this whole thing has been, building for him, for Will in his story. And hopefully we see even more of that coming out in season 5. I'm very excited.
I mean, they're all 40 plus years old now, season 5. Like, this has been a long time.
They've all grown up now.
They've got families and stuff, I think, by now, right? Like,
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Which, that's kind of funny that you say that, because in thinking about my favorite show of all time is Game of Thrones.
Oh.
Same kind of thing. We saw those kids start out as kids. And if you remember, when it got to the end of the series, it was like season 8 finally coming out. All these kids are grown now. They're grown adult characters in the storyline. And you have a love scene with Arya. People were freaked. They were like, ew. But I think it's just really hard for people to grasp the idea that this once child is not anymore. I mean, we're kind of seeing that with Stranger Things. They are not children anymore. They are coming into their adults. They are not the kids that Steve babysat in all the other seasons. Now they're the older kids.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Final thoughts on season 4. It was one of the most expensive. It was $30 million per episode is what they spent.
Yeah.
And it showed. I do think the season 4, as far as the history of television and things like that, I think it shook up what a TV show was. It's kind of started in season 3 with the longer episodes, but this one really did get to the point to where, what is a TV show? And people start arguing about all that. It doesn't matter. If you want to call this a TV show, sure, it is. It was 9 episodes. This one was finally broke into part 1 and a part 2. The 9th episode is like a movie. Like that. Seriously, the finale is. I think how long was it? It was a long one too. It was 2 hours maybe. Like it's up there.
Yeah. They're movie length episodes by the time we get to the end of it, which is why, I mean, the buildup of each season being longer episodes, more and more, just more happening. It's almost impossible to cover everything. But who is your standout character this season? Who do you feel like was I loved their performance. I loved their character.
Well, Eddie's the easy pick for me because I kind of already went into what Joseph Quinn did. But I'll have to go the other route. And I guess this is an easy pick too, but Vecna. Because Vecna was played by Jamie Campbell Bower. And this guy's pretty. He's pretty. He's good looking. So you do this crazy transformation into this
Can you imagine?
creature. He wore 90 pounds of prosthetics. And this is why I kind of pick him too, is because the behind the scenes parts to make this happen and the grueling hours that he would probably have to go through day in, day out to make all this happen and then still put on a chilling performance, let's say.
Yeah.
Like he's the standout to me. We've been waiting 3 seasons for the big bad. We've seen all these crazy monsters, and like I said at the beginning of this, finally we got a psychological monster in there, and that just it amped it up. It made it to me where you had to watch the whole season on the edge of your seat because, like we said, you never know. You never know when he's gonna hit because now he's here. So yeah, I think he's my standout. Yeah. What about you?
Less of a barrier between the Upside Down and this world. I mean, it felt more fluid, like he could get you anywhere. I think that was a big part of it. And people are just amazed at his ability to do the voice.
Yeah.
He can do that voice without any help.
Yeah.
Any outside help. He does the voice of Vecna. That's pretty incredible.
Also, they didn't use any CGI. They used 5 CGI shots total. So all that 90 pounds of prosthetics he had to wear.
It's just him.
It was that well done. He actually, here's a fun fact. He took home the prosthetic hand. Jamie Campbell Bower took home the prosthetic hand.
Fingered hand.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to have that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I especially loved that when the illusion, and it was like a little child, and then all of a sudden they point and has that big hand. Yeah. That was one of my favorite parts, actually. Standout character to me, played by Nicola Diorco. I might be saying that wrong. I apologize, but played Yuri in this season. Okay, so I'm not picking like one of the major characters. I know this is going to be totally coming out of left field, but he was standout to me because he was kind of like comedy relief. Like every time he was on the screen, I was laughing. So I love that.
Yeah.
So that's my standout. And I can't help but mention Susie because they stop and visit her in our good old town of Salt Lake City where we are. So can't help but just mention that Susie and her family are a blast to see in the season too.
It's all right. We got to get the cheap plugs in. We got to get those in. That's a cheap pop, cheap plug,
To our SLC punks.
Yeah. Makes the hometown people get crazy for us, so that's it though for Stranger Things season 4. The next time we talk about Stranger Things, we will be breaking down episodes of season 5. Those things I've seen 2 of them now. Whew. It's heating up. It's definitely heating up.
I can't wait. Can't wait to see what happens.
Tomorrow though, Christmas Vacation, we're going to break that down right here. Just Blane, Courtney Pearl, Parallel Frequencies.